call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The city of Seward abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording processes is posted in the meeting room. Any citizen may address the council regarding items included on the meeting agenda and are asked to complete and hand in a speaker card to the clerk. Presenters shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record, and are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks shall be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The city of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary, and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Taylor.
Here.
Coulterman.
Here.
Streisand.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Franciscato.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
All right, thank you. First item this evening is the election of council president. Are there any nominations or discussion?
I nominate Jessica Coleman.
All right,
I knew I should have been at that meeting.
you accept the
I'll
nomination?
accept it.
All right, any other nominations? If no one else, then Kelly, you just do unanimous consent? Okay. We're all good? Unanimous? Great.
I think we technically do have to vote.
I was gonna say,
We have to flick the switches.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
made
no.
the thing up like this. Flip your switches, or display.
Voting in favor, Franciscato,
This
Taylor,
wasn't
Coulterman,
good
Miller,
enough.
Streisand, Morgan,
Kelly.
6-0.
Thank you.
Alright, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Alright, the next 4 items make up this evening's consent
I'll
agenda.
move the consent agenda.
Second.
The motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Taylor, Coulterman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan. Voting against, Franciscato, 5-1.
Alright, under administrative items, item number 1 is authorization to advertise for public bids for the Worthman Boulevard Water Main Phase 3 project. Mike, welcome.
Good evening, council members. So we do have the final phase of 3 phases to complete a loop in the rail campus. Is extending from Worthman Boulevard, the intersection with Pine Street to the west, up the west property line of the rail campus, now owned by Dairy Processing LLC. Proceeding up to Walker, actually this section takes over just south of Walker Road, bores under Walker and under the BNSF tracks. It connects in with the water main that runs east-west from the water plant on 294th. Just north of the tracks, on the south side of Tenneco. Actually the water main stretches through the south side of Tenneco's property and around up the west side of the right-of-way for Highway 15. So this is a 16-inch main. It'll provide important flow and maintaining pressure, especially fire flow, for all of the businesses and industries located in the rail campus. Provides for the future of building out the rail campus. It's just this stretch is just a small stretch, 180 feet. About half of that has to be bored, 30-inch casing, and then we slide a 16-inch water main through that. We have in this project 4 16-inch gate valves. The gate valves are procured separately by Brandon Cole, Water Wastewater Director. And we have them on hand in Seward for installation. The price here with the fees for BNSF for insurance and particularly a flagger that has to be present during most construction. That brings the total with engineering and inspection to to $367,753. That's the engineer's estimate. We project with council approval today, we'd be able to advertise December 10th, 17th, and 24th. In the month of December, the Seward Independent, we would also advertise on a common engineering electronic board for bidders to gain information, download the various plans and specifications, and submit bids. Projected bid date is January 8th. That'll be advertised starting on the 10th. We believe that notice to proceed can be granted roughly February 18th after the February 17th council meeting. That's just a projection. We anticipate having listed in the project documents a substantial completion date of April 24th. So a short time frame for this project. We think it'll be a great benefit, and so seeking council approval to advertise for the Worthman Boulevard Water Main Phase 3 project.
All right, thanks, Mike. Any questions or comments from the council? Otherwise, I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor of Francis Scott, Kaler, Coltman, Miller, Tyson, Morgan, 6-0.
Alright, item 2 is authorization to advertise for public bids for the industrial substation expansion project at 2845 Walker Road. Greg?
Yes, this is for the planned expansion of the rail campus substation. This is approximately a 10 MVA megawatt expansion of that system, utilizing the same footprint that we have now. I'll note that Jared's here with me, but he may not have to get up. We'll see what kind of technical questions you guys got. This bid, we've already awarded the bid for the transformer, which is a substantial portion of the cost in regards to this expansion. That's being built overseas. That was awarded to Hyundai. And we've already taken care of those contracts and finished up those documents. This is for all of the localized work. So this includes installation of 34.5 and 12.74 kV medium voltage equipment and conductors. They'll install relevant low voltage signals, power cables, equipment such as potential signals, current signals, and AC power. They'll do foundations, grounding, conduit, other below grade items, structure foundations. They'll procure the contractors to supply equipment and structures to meet engineering specs, and essentially get everything ready for the delivery and ultimate installation of the major substation transformer that we're getting from Hyundai. So these guys will do all the work adjacent to that and then bring it online. We anticipate 3 days of bid letting and then opening bids on January 15th. That is going to be a virtual opening. We tend to do that with our electric ones because we tend to get bidders from all over the region rather than local bidders due to the nature of the technical nature of this work. And so that will be hosted by Olson. Also all the plans and specs and everything else that Jared's helped work on with Olson are all going to be available online in bid packages. I would imagine that we'll probably align with the estimation that Mike had in the last project. We'll also probably award bid and finalize everything in February after this bid opening. We could do it slightly sooner, but I think that will match the time it takes for Olson to look over everything once the bids come in and make sure it's all there. Final completion, I believe, Jared was kind of moving some milestones around for different projects, but I still believe we're looking at January of 27 for full completion and operation of that substation, just ahead of the ramp up of the dairy project anticipated for February of 27. So things come in well, we'll be well ahead of that, but that's the date we want to give, knowing that we have obligations pursuant to our MOU to dairy to get them kind of fully up and get more power. As we've also noted, concurrent in the background, we don't have exactly enough power coming off of the current NPPD substation to power the full 10 MVA, but they're now in the process, and we've received notice that they're going to be doing their substation upgrades as well here in short order, and so some of that will align as well, and so we may have full power down at that at the time or shortly thereafter of installation. But plenty of power in the system to provide the needed power for the rail campus, but we would like to have it all there. but we'll need that NPPD upgrade. Jared, was there anything I missed? Kind of the basics of, unless they really want to get into the 200 some pages of technical drawings.
You're good.
Okay.
Any questions or comments from the council? I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor of Francis Cal, Kaler, Coltman, Miller, Scheisen, Morgan, 6-0.
Item 3, authorization for the mayor to sign a maintenance agreement with the Nebraska Department of Transportation for 2026.
This one and the one following after are just two of our standards. The city of Seward keeps track of the maintenance, snow removal, and different elements in regards to the state highway system that is within the city limits. And so that's our requirement. Certain lanes and parking spaces and things like that. We saw it, the one little area that we had in the downtown that we had to pay for, I think our little nominal amount, was parking next to the courthouse square and some of those items. But this is all a quantification of the different makeup of the highway through town. Correct, Mike?
Yes.
So, that's our maintenance agreement with them.
Any questions or comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor of Francis Cal, Kaler, Coltman, Miller, Scheisen, Morgan, 6-0.
Item 4, authorization for the mayor to sign a certificate of compliance with the Nebraska Department of Transportation for 2026.
This just notes that we handled our obligations for surface maintenance and snow removal. And then there is a compensation for that as well, so.
Any questions?
Not a lot, I'll tell you that much, versus the amount of time we spend out there, but I think it's 23,000, a little north of 23,000 for the surface maintenance and 5,600 for snow removal.
Any questions or comments from the council?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor of Francis Cal, Kaler, Coltman, Miller, Scheisen, Morgan, 6-0.
Item 5, authorization to add Joel Brazy and Jamie Fields as signers to the Wellness Center checking account with Jones Bank. Greg?
I'll kick this one over to Joel, he can better explain why we're gonna give him this very important responsibility.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a while. Glad to be back here with you. Basically, this request is to be able to write, for Jamie and I to be able to write checks to officials in all of our sports. And that would be the only access we have to that. So right now, the process is we turn a requisition into Julie Moody. She files it, and when it comes around to city council, mayor signs it. And that can be a 2 to 3 week process, and then sending them out to everybody. And so sometimes it can be, for officials, that's an inefficient process when they're getting paid right away by a lot of different entities. And so we just are looking for a way to make it easier to make sure that we continue to have good officials, whether it be basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball if we need it, and football officials. And so this would give us the ability to write those checks the day of and get those to those officials in a quick manner. And again, that would be the only check writing we'd be doing out of that account is for the officials. Nothing to a vendor where we're buying, a large amount. It would just be to officials.
The other thing I'd note is this is similar to what the school district does as well. And we've had, this pressure has been building for a while. It's not the end all be all, but we've had this request coming in, especially for Legion Baseball, when we were undertaking that and in charge of it for years. And more different organizers, associations, I don't know how to describe them, but like Jake Miller, assigners, they're advocating for this because they're trying to ensure that we get well-trained, good officials involved here. We want to have that because, again, officiating is just getting harder and harder. It's harder to recruit people to do this, and so we want to make sure that we're continuing to be competitive in the market to get, we're not paying substantially more, we're just doing some of these changes that makes it a little bit
Getting
more.
them paid on time.
Yes.
Yes.
versus potentially a month later with some of the issues we have with the mail and everything else,
And
so.
being an umpire on it in the summer and going to some places and getting paid the night of by Junior Jays, Jazz, or other organizations, and then waiting for the city of Seward one, it's not the, like Greg said, it's not the end all be all, but it is helpful for officials.
It's just not ideal.
And I think we can efficiently do that, out of our office.
Any questions or comments from the council? All those in favor of the motion?
Move to approve.
Motion and a second, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Francis Dow, Kaler, Copeland, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
City administrator's report.
I think one of the biggest ones, continue to monitor a number of projects. Again, now we've gotten into winter construction season, so we're balancing back and forth. Mike and I did some extensive work, and Mike got some letters out. We had the conversion with our delays and everything that went on with the paint situation with the water tower. In the meantime, we also had the conversion of US Cellular going to T-Mobile and that sale. And so we had to go track everybody down to continue the process of getting the equipment moved over. And so we've made some of those contacts, so we're gonna continue to move on that, but, we don't know exactly what delays that may cause. Those situations with the paint just caused a domino effect that was really, it just really put us out of whack. And so all of our contractors that are assigned are now reassigning and trying to relook at their work to try and get things all squared away on the electrical side and the demolition side, along with getting these people moved over on the telecom side. We continue to work with the dairy project down in the rail campus, and we're doing weekly meetings at their construction trailer with all of our department head leads.
You guys get hard hats?
We're not in the unsafe zone. We don't go on site. We had other employees.
Just checking.
We had other employees that got yelled at about that, but I'm not in that situation. But I think if I put a hard hat on, they'd probably throw something at me. So, but it's a good one-on-one experience. Again, it's really hard with the level of technicality and the size and scope of that project to not be able to sit there eye to eye and look at the plans together and talk about things at grade or in the trailer and really work through those things. I think it's been very refreshing for both sides to have that back and forth, and so we have all of our major department heads there. We'll undertake that again tomorrow. We had a great dedication out at the Wellness Center this weekend for Joe Cruzy Rogers and the painting that they have out there. My husband Hugh was on hand and is in town meeting with different benefactors for some of the gifts that they're going to impart upon the community. We had the great write-up in the Independent about those gifts, and so that was a wonderful event. Kudos to Joel and Shane Bach and everybody that attended that but put that on. We were able to meet with Hugh yesterday and go into more of the details of specifically the wellness element of that gift and really try to align with the intent that Joan had with that. And so that was a very fruitful meeting yesterday, and Hugh went back to, I think it's the Lincoln Community Foundation, which will hold our gift and will be the beneficiary of, and make some adjustments that kind of probably were more in line with what they were thinking. So, and it will help us out too. So, very, very good meeting there. Had some items and updates in LB 840. We're trying to close out TIF reports. That's one me and Maddie have been working on for a while now. We're doing TIF closings as well. And so Daryl's back there laughing because he knows he needs that report from me. And so we're trying to get some of those things done with Andrew Willis and close those things out. I got Maddie helping me with those ones. That's taken up most of our last week and this week too. And then that's kind of it. Again, as you're well aware, and kudos to Megan and all your work with the holiday festivities. Unfortunately, just due to weather and some of the limiting factors and people that were willing to go into it, we did find out that they canceled the lighted holiday parade. And so we're just noting that for the purposes of we needed to have police available. We had to go dig out potentially all the barricades that were under all the snow that were waiting for the, so we'll just work our way around that, but that was another item that we had to keep track of this week, and we'll pivot to make sure that we get things taken care of for that, get the cleanup done.
What I was gonna say about that is the city was chosen to be the grand marshal of the parade, so unfortunately we won't get to do that part. They wanted to recognize the water, the electric, the public properties and the street departments for the
Oh,
work they
nice.
did, so. Unfortunately, we don't get a formal opportunity to recognize the guys and let them lead the parade, but, you know, we feel appreciated that we were asked.
It was specifically in response to the storm
Yep.
event in August.
Yep.
Was what the recognition was for, and so so kudos to them. And you've heard me say that numerous times coming out of that. We are just getting started. We've done some basic work, but the formal work with NEMA and FEMA after the declaration. I think we have our first meeting later this week, Thursday.
Thursday.
So just to get started, the August one, and Eric's about closed out, I think, with the March one.
Yeah.
So kudos to him too for all of his efforts and work with NEMA and FEMA to be organized and ahead of the game. So that's been a big relief and an assistance to me. So
Hopefully we don't have any this winter.
yeah, let's not talk about that.
Wow.
Too soon?
Yes,
We don't have an item called how jinxes work. We'll add that to the next agenda.
You know what, you're super
That's
efficient.
decorum.
we'll talk about that
The
before.
employee handbook.
I can answer any other questions you may have about the administrator's report.
Your motion to accept the report.
Who approves?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Francis Scotto, Kaler, Coltman, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
All right, any future requests for council agenda items or administrative action? Seeing none, we'll move on to upcoming events. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. As Greg kind of alluded to, yeah, Mother Nature did not cooperate with us for the 15th annual Christmas festival on Saturday the 29th, but Santa still did come with his fire truck this year, so thanks to Santa. But while again, as Greg said, we did have to cancel this year's parade, we do intend to feature a couple of the major floats, prominently near downtown to spread holiday, to kind of spread that holiday cheer. That is tentatively planned for Saturday, December 13th. That's something we've kind of started talking about kind of yesterday, and potentially we'll be displaying our Grand Marshal signs during that time as well on the parade floats. There might be something else kind of with that for the Grand Marshals to kind of honor them. Because we do want to absolutely express our appreciation and thanks for that. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And then yeah, as I mentioned, Saturday, December 13th is the Sip and Shop in downtown Seward, encouraging people to shop local for the holiday season. And then on Wednesday, December 17th, we have our ribbon cuttings. First Cafe on the Square will be at 2 p.m. and Timberworks will be at 3 p.m. And then Seward County Young Professionals, or SKIP, will have a business after hours on Thursday, December 18th. And then Monday, January 26th will be the Chamber's annual awards banquet. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Francis Scotto, Kaler, Coltman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.